A Dollar General store in Missouri unionized. Missouri is trying to become a right-to-work state, which basically means they're anti-union. And then a manager at another Dollar General nearby just asked about this and was fired. This was reported by Vigilante in The Intercept on January 8th. So, and the woman that was fired, Marjorie Nation, the manager of the Dollar General store in Glasgow, another Missouri town, the one that unionized was in Auxvasi, I don't know how to pronounce that, Missouri. So then this woman, Marjorie Nation, was fired, and she claims, I've never been written up, I've never been reprimanded, nothing, she told The Intercept. In fact, she said her store was given an award for sales and customer satisfaction last year. So we've talked about in this show over the years, the decades, the last 34 decades, this country, the corporate state, has slowly gotten rid of unions. They've used the tactic in the 30s that unions were where socialists and communists hung out. Anti-American ideas came there, you know. They did this in the House Un-American Activities Committee in the 50s when they, you know, got rid of anybody that said anything un-American. So people that are anti-union, and unions aren't perfect. I've seen unions do corrupt things or whatever, but for the most part, they make our lives better. You like a 40-hour work week? That's because of a union. You like an 8-hour work day? That's because of a union. You like weekends? That's a union. Sick days? Unions. Unions created all that stuff. And here's what else that Vigilante said in the article. Missouri lies at the heart of the national debate about unionizing. This year, it became the 28th state to enact a right-to-work law that says workers cannot be forced to join a union as a condition of employment. 10 days before the law was to come into force, labor unions, which opposed the law, gathered 300,000 signatures to put the issue directly to voters in a 2018 election. Dollar General is a hallmark of the low-wage economy, as it is low-cost goods often provide a lifeline to communities that can't afford to shop at big retailers. But along with low-cost goods often come low wages for employees. As HuffPost Dave Jameson reported in 2013, various dollar store chains like Dollar General have worked hard to keep employee compensation low through tactics like classifying certain employees as managers to avoid paying them overtime. When the workers in Avox voted 2-1 to unionize, their store became the first Dollar General in the country to take that step. That's got to terrify the corporate overlords. We can't have this organizing. This is what we're talking about on this show. Organize, get involved, unionize is one way to do it. We need mass protests on every level, protesting bad wages, protesting pipelines, protesting digging up national parks, protesting all of this crap. They voted 2-1 to unionize. Their store became the first Dollar General to do that. They did it with the help of United Food and Commercial Workers Local 655. The local, based in a suburb of St. Louis, typically organizes grocery store workers and other retailers. Around 90% of its members in the area work at 3 major grocery chains, but it also has members in businesses ranging from barbers to local funeral home. It is the largest private sector union in the state. A spokesman for the union told The Intercept that just about 2 months passed between when the workers reached out to the local and when they voted to unionize. One issue the workers were concerned with, he said, was managers exhibiting favoritism when assigning worker schedules. And this woman wasn't even trying to organize. She wasn't trying to unionize her store. She just asked a question and posted on social media. So what does this mean? What does this mean for our store if they're a union store and we're not? Just asking questions that any decent, reasonable manager would ask. She's doing her job effectively. And as she said, she'd never been written up. Her store was given awards. Like, wow, she sounds like she's a pretty good employee. And just asked the question, how does this affect us? Fired. These corporations keep doing this crap. I hope she becomes an activist now. I hope she joins the union. She decided to ask about the union at the Avox store. I had employees asking me, as well as other store managers asking questions. How does this affect us? If they're getting better pay or better hours or whatever, how does that affect us? If they unionize to get this, why don't we? She told The Intercept. The higher-ups reiterated the company's long-standing opposition to unionization. she was told to contact the district manager. She contacted the district manager. And then two regional managers visited the store unannounced. They just came in the store. They never introduced themselves or nothing. They walked around the store and then came around to where I was while I was at a checking out. And customer basically asked, why are your employees asking these questions? Just strong-arming her. This is what the Pinkertons did. They just took axe handles to union people down there back in the 30s. This is what the corporate state does. You speak up, you unionize, you try to have a livable wage, you try to have, decent workers' rights. We're going to send a couple guys down to the store to straighten you out. That's how they deal with things. One day later, she was fired. Dollar General high-ups were not available for comment, apparently, according to The Intercept. Weird. You'd think they would want to talk about why they're gutless worms. Dollar General in December, they asked for a recount of the union vote. Claiming that two of the four employees who voted in favor said they had changed their minds. Really? So they were either threatened or bought off. Let's not kid ourselves here. These two changed their minds. They either said they found someone who's vulnerable. Oh, you're taking care of your sick parent, or you got a kid that's special needs or something like that. We might fire you unless you get your mind right and get away from this union. They did that tactic. Or they said, here's 10 grand to go change your vote. That's what they do. And that's the price you got to be willing to pay to be an activist. I hate to say it, I'm sorry, but that's the reality. I got fired. I got fired from a job last June for my Twitter feed for going up against corporate Democrats. This movie review company was going to hire me to work a big movie review type game show at the San Diego Comic-Con. We're all set to go. They're going to pay me. It was decent money. It was all good. Somebody saw my Twitter feed. The producer called me up and said, Graham, I'm sorry, man. We got to fire you. We can't have any political anything. I can't have politics. I can't call out Anthony Rendon for undercutting single-payer health care in the state of California. That's what I was against. That's what I was mad about. And I wasn't even vulgar. I wasn't like, fuck him. My tweets are just like, this is the California Democrat who voted down single-payer health care in the state of California. It's tweets like that. Got me fired. This woman just asked, hey, what if they're unionized and we're not, how does that work? Gone. On January 3rd, the National Labor Relations Board held a hearing on the matter, but it was not yet decided whether it will grant a new vote. For her part, Nation has hired a lawyer and plans to challenge her termination. Good for you. You got to resist, guys. They're going to put their boot on your neck. This is what unregulated, unchecked, unbridled corporate capitalist greed looks like. That's why 60% of the country doesn't have $1,000 in savings. That's why people are being crushed by student loan debt. That's why the housing market is overinflated again. It's acting just like it did in 2007 and 2008. And here's Dollar General. So good for them for unionizing. And if you do unionize, get ready for a fight. Be ready for that. Just know that's coming. Because the corporations, the big machine, they don't want you to unionize. So stick it to them. Stick it to them at every level. Walk out. Impede their ability to profit off of your labor. That's when things change. Thanks for watching the show. Like and subscribe. Go to the Patreon. Also I know Amazon's a big bad company, but if you are going to use them, use my affiliate link that's below. Go to GrahamElwood.com. I'm shooting another episode of the FNX Comedy Experience, January 14th at San Bernardino Valley College. Tickets and info are all at my website, GrahamElwood.com. All my social media, everything is at GrahamElwood.com. It's a PBS channel. FNX is carried on PBS. So it's a non-for-profit. I'm not working for big corporations. I'm giving Native American stand-up comics a voice. It's the first ever Native American stand-up comedy series. They've had little specials, but never a full series. They're doing 15-minute sets. They're not doing little 4.5-minute corporate late-night TV sets where they can't say anything controversial and everything's just got to be, dating and Tinder and woo, crazy. They're going to talk about real stuff, man. And it's a great comedy show. Come check it out. Every Sunday in January. GrahamElwood.com.